Welcome aboard to the Darlington DFS preview show presented by Hooters. Right now, if you get over to Hooters and use promo code GarageGuys, you can save $10 on any $30 or more order when you order to go. That's off of order.hooters.com or the Hooters app. You tell them Garage Guys sent you. Tell them Captain Carryout sent you. We all know on race day, if you don't have your boys with you and the crew, you're not going to want to sit up at the Hooters and watch it. You should, but you probably won't. Lazy ass, you want to go on the couch? That's fine. I'm not going to judge you, even though I called you a lazy ass. Because the beautiful thing is you can still go to Hooters and use our promo code and save money and take that money and invest it on DraftKings and DFS. Because it's Darlington. It's the Southern 500. The Cookout Southern 500 is here. Welcome to the Garage Guys Race Preview Show, where we are now talking DFS. That's right. You want bet talk? You go watch Dale Center. You watch the preview show, we're back to DFS. We're back to our roots. I'm staring at myself on a computer screen right now. I'm blown away at the quality of the video. I got one of those connector kits for like a Canon camera to make it a webcam. And we're just continuously improving quality. It's just great. It's good to be able to say that Garage Guys is on the up and up. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that watched Bringing Winston Back, by the way. I am over the moon at the response that I've gotten from the show. Some people are calling it the Saturday Night Live of motorsports. And if that's what you want to call it, then I'm a happy motherfucker, because that is exactly what I was going for. A little bit of Chappelle in there, a little bit of Lawyer Squad in there, a little bit of Tonight Show, but for racing. And I'm really looking forward to how that continues to grow. And I want everyone to be a part of it as well, because, Dale and I, we help you get the bag, right? We help you with bets. We help you with DFS, and not just us. I mean, we got Greg Mathern, we got Cody Zeeb, we got Derek Yoder, Trucks and Xfinity, and Cup articles. We got some more stuff coming too, some more people joining the squad. I mean, we're literally turning into a powerhouse, not just for betting and DFS, but just for racing in general. And that's what it's always been about, baby. So I can't thank you guys enough. But on tonight's show, we're going to be talking some DFS. For those of you that have been watching this show for a long time and have been, used to the betting stuff, I'm sure you're watching Dale Center as well. But that's not the only way you can make your money in NASCAR. And it turns out that there was a lot of you guys that weren't even playing daily fantasy sports for DraftKings. And that was really like the first rendition of everything we were doing here at Garage Guys. So I'm stoked to be bringing it back, and I'm going to have some different guests on across the industry that do rankings and projections. You want a little bit of that data stuff, and I get it. All right. And there's some great guys out there that are providing amazing content. I'm definitely more of the hand-built guy, but I'm not going to lie to you and say that I don't look at that stuff sometimes, because it is important. Because if you want to win big, you got to battle the sharks. You got to swim in the shark tank, And the thing is that I'm not a shark. I'm a fisherman. So I want to be able to cast the line. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. I want to catch a bag. I'm not trying to eat a bunch of fish and whatever else. I just want to catch a bag. I want to catch me a bag. But I do want to be, top in the water. So, and I want all of you in the Garage fam to be top of the water as well. So that's what we got to do. We have to think bigger than being a shark in the water. We have to be the apex predator, the man up, or the woe man up on the boat. We got to be setting the hook. We got to be setting the traps, and we got to make it happen. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in to the show. I brought my little whiteboard with me again. By the way, I'm on vacation right now. My wife and my child and my mother could walk into this room at any moment. So if they do, we will have a special guest on this show, probably my son, the coolest kid in the world. And I'm sure if a lot of you are parents out there, your child is the coolest kid in the world too. So just so you know how that works. But let's go ahead and talk about some DFS stuff. So I'm excited about this weekend. It's the Southern 500. So 5 has been a good race for me in the past. It's a pretty traditional race. We had a wild race at Darlington earlier in the year, pretty much bankrupt me and Dale with bets. And it was pretty scary. And so we weren't really expecting to see that kind of racing. But I think that we're going to get a little bit more of a put together race. Not so much chaos at Darlington. Won't be another Darlington Dega, hopefully. So I'm not looking to see as much chaos at this race. I think things have evolved. We're going to see a lot more of, your guys in the playoffs that are just trying to make those moves. The one thing we might see is Ross Chastain get his ass sent like he did earlier in the year. And it was sad to see that happen because, my Lord, I wanted to see that Coke car in victory lane. I wanted it. Wasn't time, though. It was Joseph L's time. He got his first Darlington win. Big first man. Joseph is not going to win this race again. Just going ahead and saying that right now. Joey Logano will not win this race again. He may win qualifying, but I've already put qualifying bets in, and I might have to add him as a fourth guy. But if you want to see who I bet on to qualify, you need to go to the Discord. It's a pinned message. You'll be able to see Dale's qualifying bets. He probably already gave them out on Dale Center. So if you want to see mine, go to the Discord. It's free. Just literally just ask around. You'll find the link. I promise it's worth it. We have people searching for it all the time, and they come to me and I give them the link. So I've looked over some salaries, and I'm still looking over some data right now on the computer. And I want to go ahead and just talk about the first guy that I see right now that we're going to have. We know him by a couple of other names. And the one name that I love to call him is a nickname that he probably doesn't hear a lot. It's the Mighty Busch. All right. It's not Kyle Busch. Definitely not Kurt Busch. He's at home. It's Chris Buescher. Okay. Chris Buescher coming in this week. And we'll go ahead and get the sign up. Chris Buescher coming in this week at 6.9K on DraftKings. 6.9K for Chris Buescher. Why Chris Buescher, Chase? Why is Chris Buescher a guy that we need to look at? Well, for one, you got to think about this. The guys that aren't in the playoffs, they got a lot of weight off of their back, okay? People are going to be out there just kind of running, doing some things, trying some things, and they're going to kind of let the other guys in the points do their thing. But if they get in a position where they can win, they're going to take it. And you got to remember that. It's very important. So the reason that I like Chris Buescher is just because of what we have seen over the years from him. He is a guy that usually is going to qualify towards the rear, and he is really good at finding his way up to the front at these types of races. He's had a really decent year. And this last race that we had here, he started 18th and he finished 16th. The 2 years before, started 11th in May of 2021, finished 9th, started 34th at this race last year, finished 9th. Man found a way. So what I want you to remember is that Chris Buescher could easily find himself qualifying somewhere in the 20s to 30s. Now, you're going to be watching this video before qualifying comes out. All right, so you definitely want to go to GarageGuysFantasySports.com. Check out my article that I will have out tomorrow after qualifying. That's where I'm going to have meat and potatoes of everything finalized that we're talking about here. But this is a guy that you want to keep in mind if you want to go ahead and start constructing. So I'm kind of giving some predictions here for DFS, if you will. But at the same time, I have a really, really strong feeling that some of these guys that I'm going to be talking about are going to be right there where we want them to be. And you can go ahead and set some crazy lineups and get it going. That's why we do this. So got to talk about Chris Buescher. I love Chris Buescher. And I think that he is going to find a way to continue to improve. Like I said, wasn't the great running that we had hoped for at this race earlier in the year. It was also Darlington Dega. So don't forget that. I don't see that kind of a race happening again this time. So Chris Buescher is first guy right off the board. Chris Buescher. Remember the name. The second guy I'm going to look at here for salary purpose, somebody that's going to be in that mid-tier, and a guy that we talked about on the recap. He recently won a race, and he's got a cool nickname. It's AD3. If you don't call him 83, consider yourself not Garage Fam. You should call him 83. It's a really cool fucking name. It's Austin Dillon. And Austin Dillon this week at this track is coming in at a whopping 7.8K on DraftKings. 7.8K for Austin Dillon. He's going to be a good mid-tier range guy. And now let's go ahead and talk about this. Qualifying-wise, they just had a win. So this could be something that we see where they got a little bit of momentum going, a little bit of juice, and he comes out swinging. I don't really know if that's going to be the case or if that's something that we're truly going to see from him at this track. But what I will tell you is this. He has been pretty damn good at this track in recent years. So far, since 2020, he's had 1, 2, 3 top 10s, one of those being a top 5, a top 3 actually, where he finished second in September of 2020 in that wild one where Martin and Chase got into it. Kevin Harvick snuck up to win, and he was in a badass car. That was back when the throwback race was still at night for the Southern 500. I missed that. Find a way to bring it back, please. I love Darlington at night. It's fun. Can't wait. Can't wait. Won't be there this weekend, but we'll be back soon. But looking at the recent statistics, and like, it's not anything new. I mean, there's been a time where he had a really good finish here. Back in 2017, he had a top 5. But I'm just looking at the recency here. He started 14th and finished 9th with the Gen 7 car. And even though it was Dover Dega, he still found himself in that top 10. So this is a guy, like I said, we typically don't see him qualify inside of the top 10 at this track. With the win recently, the momentum is strong and high. We may see that. If we do see that, that's where things are going to get a little bit tricky, and you're going to have to think, okay, is this guy going to be worth it or not? And that's why you should come back and read the articles. I'm going to go over through some projections. I'm going to see some things to have a good meat and potatoes based article for you guys that'll be out on Saturday. But Austin Dillon is a guy that I really love, and I'm going to be playing him probably a lot this week in DFS. So AD, guy to look for. Paul Swan, he's got a TV show, okay? Any guy that has a TV show, you probably want to just like back him up a little bit, okay? I don't care if he's bad or good or, he's Dale Sr. or not Dale Sr. because let's be honest, the man gets so much hate for driving the 3 car. It's like, it's Richard Childress is his granddad. Like, what did you think was going to happen? He was going to put him in at 29? No, he's going to put him in the 3. He's going to put him in the number that he drove himself. That's the thing that most NASCAR fans and most people that are outsiders that want to hate on him don't even realize is that Richard Childress ran the 3 before Dale Sr. ran the 3. So think about that, all right? Just think about it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. 83, 7.8K DraftKings, second play that I love for Darlington. Now let's go ahead and jump up into some of the higher numbers, the higher range. Now, I know we talked about the worrying part, right? We talked a little bit about the worry of this guy, of what we thought, maybe it's not going to be smart to play him. This is going to be a fear ride through the playoffs. It's a risk you got to take. It's a gamble, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if you're like me, you like gambling. If you're like Dale, you like gambling. If you're a garage guy, if you're a garage fan, you like gambling. There's a reason you're here. There's a reason you're watching this. Now, this is a strategy game. This is DFS. Remember that. Ross Chastain, 10K on DraftKings. Yes, that is right. The man that burned my soul to pieces at the Darlington race earlier in the year is going to be the guy that I want to have. And I'm going to tell you why. Dude's got a magnet. Okay, there's a magnet on that guy's car, and we've seen it. We've seen it come. At the road courses, he got punted out, and that's pretty easy to happen. But this dude is a magnet, all right? We've seen him on tracks before get hit. He still finds a way to stick, and we've made jokes about it all season long. Dale and I both have talked about this, where you're going to have Ross Chastain coming down. He's coming around. He's making his left turn. Got to get that left turn in. These are the tracks where he does that. He gets that in, circle tracks. It's not a road course. He's been good on the road courses, but I think that this is going to be the race, other than Talladega, where Ross has a really good chance of coming in with a win, and this is a really good chance that he can find himself moving to that next spot in the playoffs. So Chastain at 10K is a guy. And now let's go ahead and look at some statistics here. I think the first race that we really noticed, like where Ross Chastain could come in and show what he was really made of at Darlington, was probably in 2021, this race last year where he finished third. The odds on him in betting were insane. But for DFS, if you had him, you did pretty damn good as well. And that's another reason why. Maybe it's something about the nighttime. Maybe something's in the air. I don't know, but I want to play him. I just think that his mentality is going to be different. He's going to be ready for people to come out swinging at him. And with that kind of stuff, you've got to think, okay, he's prepared for this. He knows who to get around, who not to get around. He knows if he's around someone, his spotter is going to be really on point. Because Trackhouse, nobody expected Trackhouse to do what they did this year. Daniel Suarez and him both got a win. You know that Justin Marks is doing everything he can to make sure that his guys are prepared to make a long as possible run through this playoff season. Will they get to a championship? I don't think so. But I do think that Chastain has what it takes to make it to the next round. Now, he finished third here in 2021, and he finished 30th this last race. But again, that was because he got whopped. He got molly-whopped on a restart, and it really screwed him up. And I just don't see that happening again. You learn from your mistakes. If you're a guy like Ross Chastain, you know what you've done all season long. There was an article, I think, that somebody had put out on Twitter where it was like, Chastain had a pretty rough ride through the season, but he really hopes to turn things around and make some friends in the playoffs. Well, no shit. He wants to turn things around and make things great in the playoffs. But here's the problem. You fucking can't. So you got to be balls to the wall and not give a fuck if you're Ross Chastain at this point. And that's exactly what I think that we're going to see come out of him in this race. And that's why I want him in my DFS lineups, because if he comes out with that attitude, he's going to be slinging motherfuckers left and right in the wall. And he's going to be the guy that finds his way up front. He's really going to piss everyone off. And so he may make it through to the next time. But I promise you, that next time, he's probably going to get that fucking boot. And I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have him making it all the way. I'm looking at my notes down here from when me and Dale did the recap talking about our playoffs. I have him making it all the way to the round of 8, and then he's going to get booted the fuck out. They're going to wait until it hurts him the most, and that's really what I'm thinking with, like, Hamlin. I feel like all these guys are going to, like, gang up on him at one time, and he's just going to be fucked. Like, he's going to be leading a race, and then it's just going to be, like, the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life, where, like, they all just, like the Avengers gathering together to just slap Thanos, like just bitch slap him in the face and just make him hurt. Like, I feel like a Martinsville, Kenseth Logano situation could possibly happen. Who knows? It'd be fun to see. But for this race, Chastain, 10K, I want him in the lineup. And I'm going to talk about one more guy on this show for tonight, another guy that I think could be good. Now, we talked about the high, we've got mid, and we've got low. Let's talk about a value play. A lot of guys are probably going to be talking about Justin Haley. Keep in mind, Justin Haley, he just kind of stuck it out, ran his course, made it all the way through. I don't think he's a super bad play at 6,200. I'm going to wait and see how he qualifies, what happens. If he qualifies like way towards the rear, it's a possibility. But I just think that was one of those finishes for Justin where maybe it wasn't too much skill, because he even came out and said he hates this track. Now, maybe like the track started to love him. And if that's the case and he doesn't have a terrible run during practice and qualifying, I'll probably throw him in some lineups. But for right now, to go ahead and cap this off, we just got to talk about another guy that's going to probably be up there in the higher areas of money. And that's a guy that I think can win this race. It's a guy that I think a lot of things are going to be kind of handed back to him as we start the playoffs. And his name, he goes by a few names. One of my favorite names for him, though, that we gave him was Benjamin Bill. And now, if that doesn't ring a bell, then you probably weren't following us around Martinsville earlier in the year when Benjamin Bill won us a good stack of change on a Cup Series night in Martinsville. That's right. William Byron is who I'm talking about for my fourth play. And the price tag that's on him at this race, the price tag that's here 8.9K, I believe, is what we're looking at Willie B. 8.9K for Willie B, my fourth guy that I'm going to talk about on the show for your DFS lineups that I really like. Why do I like Willie B? Well, let's be real. He was fast as fuck earlier in the year at Darlington. He found his way. He did what he had to do. And with that being said, I just feel like he's going to find a way to come around. Someone is going to get Rudy a burrito. He's going to be happy in the box, and they're going to make shit happen. There's really not much more that I can say about that. It's more of a gut play. I just feel like things are going to click for him. But I hope you enjoyed these picks. Again, Chris Buescher, Austin Dillon, Ross Chastain, and William Byron. It's about 4 guys that I like pre-qualifying and pre-practice. So lock them in. Make sure you read the article, GarageGuysFantasySports.com. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Garage Guy Chase. This has been the Darlington NASCAR DFS preview show from a hotel room in Mississippi. I'm going to eat food now. See y'all later.
It's the Garage Guys. 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 It's the Garage Guys.